This call is being recorded.
I'm sorry, what was that? My bad. I thought you had. But
I was saying this sounds like a great gift to my Libra.
oh,
Okay.
beautiful. Awesome. All right. So, right off the bat, you have Neptune 3 degrees and your AC 3 degrees. So I'm just mind blown because right off the bat, just smacked with an alien construct, which is very significant. So your chart is already off the chain, and I'm going to share an alien construct article that you will gain with this recording. You'll see the links that I have attached. Neptune to be exactly on your rising is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? That level of precision is wild. And what I learned in the construct article after reading yesterday is, especially with the ascendant, when the outer planets are so close to them, a large element of that planet really influences how people see you and really influences your personality. Neptune, which is purely transcendence at its worst, deals with alcoholism or can attract people who are going through that. But because you have this on your rising, you literally reflect the inherent God and goddess with every individual. I can't with Libra at this point. Like y'all always do some ecstatic. Like I'm literally watching the sun just beam through your face and you're just like providing. Yeah. And it's almost annoying at this point. It's like, why does Libra have to just be so beautiful? Like, no matter what you do, it's like reality has to always make y'all aesthetic look cool. And I think that's super symbolic. Like, Neptune is literally on your face, on your rising. And my first vision of you is literally the sunshine. Like, I literally see the rays coming through your face, and you have the sun in your 10th house of like of the crown. Like, this is the 10th house sun right here. The sun is beaming through you. You look like a movie character. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is really legitimate. Um, and I think that's really dope because the 10th house sun, you are the public figure, right? You have the collective personality. So Sag, Cap, Aqua, and, and Pisces are the goddess level, god level personalities. Cap, Aqua, and Pisces specifically means you are elite embodiment. You're the embodiment of the elite of integrity. You have this incredible personality. Mars is in its exaltation in your first house, which is even more mind blowing. So, like,
Just kidding.
you're like a divine gangster. You're like a spiritual gangster. Like you have the.
Thank you for saying it like that.
Oh yeah, I totally mean that too. Like the discipline and the what I respect about Mars in Capricorn is that I have Mars in Aries. So like before I can think about what before I'm thinking about what I already did it. And it's really cool when it comes to like cutting in line or like just getting somewhere quick. But it really sucks when it's like, I probably should have thought about that before I did that and embarrassed myself. And Mars in Capricorn is so disciplined. It's gonna plan out what it does, you know. It's definitely going to move orderly. It's the most powerful Mars. The most powerful punch in the UFC is held by someone who has Mars in Capricorn. David Goggins has Mars in Capricorn. It is so badass.
Wrong, like physically, it's kind of scary.
Okay, I needed to know that. I needed you to tell me that because I feel like, especially in your case with Neptune, there's going to be a deceptive quality to how powerful you are. Like people are not going to expect you to be as assertive, especially as you are. And Neptune allows you the dissolvement to still be, I don't want to say spiritual, but mystical, to still kind of have that veil while Mars moves forward very assertively, very disciplined, very controlled. I love to see it in women because Mars is so much more of a masculine archetype. So you have the divine feminine, but that's also beautiful with Libra women too. Aries women, Libra women, Aquarius women, y'all scare men because like you bring this like Libra is the best of this. Like you perfectly balance the masculine and the feminine, and Libra is specifically is it brings an intelligence that most men feel women shouldn't have. And so it's like Libra is here to kind of just remind men and women, like, hey, no, like this is what balance looks like, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what adds to that. But Neptune here, I feel like really does represent the element of the divine feminine exactly 3 degrees, which notes your precision. What we see here is that the sun squares your Neptune and Mercury squares your Mars. So there's this mind body connection relative to everything you are aware of socially, which is the Libra part of your spirit, which is Libra to me is the PR agent. It's the artist. It's how you really paint your pictures towards the society around you as the public figure who balances what you communicate. Mercury is your megaphone. You know how to be a public speaker. But then Capricorn is the more, and please feel free to interrupt at any point if you want to mention anything. Capricorn is going to be the more director element of your personality that's going to be more disciplined. We both have Earth sign rising, so we got the resting bitch face, which is awesome. But right. And Mars is going to probably bring more of a God of War angry look. You're going to be more determined in your approach. But I mean, personally, the clash between that is the direction you want to control versus the face you want to show to society. And you just have to make sure that how you take action integrates with what you're doing, which I think you balance quite perfectly. We know that your moon is in Leo. So you are the golden artist. I think Bruno Mars is a shining example of this. You have this very awesome understanding of passion and love that in the ninth house or in the eighth house denotes who you can trust. I like eighth house Leo, especially with the moon, because you can feel
Ah,
by what
sorry.
happened? You could feel by how much lack of enthusiasm people have around you, whether you can trust them or not.
Oh
Um,
my, thank you for saying that. That's the theme of my whole past summer. Thank you. That
good to
just
know.
affirmed for me.
No, I
Like this
thank you for
dead. I don't know.
Thank you for sharing that because that helps me see that even more too. But it works really well with Libra. Leo is the main character. Libra is the supporting role character. So you understand the courage really to balance this expression of yourself. This gives you the Aquarius signature, which can open up fame, even if just in your environment. So that's cool. Venus is on Pluto in Scorpio. So you have an extremely pure heart and it is
Oh,
actually impossible for you to love willy-nilly. It's going to be extremely cold or extremely obsessive. And uh I am pro obsession with the Pluto energy. I have Venus opposite Pluto from Taurus to Scorpio. So
but I
I'm not
like use. I feel like I'm like big on the death cycles and like the Venus and Scorpio. I always feel like it's supposed to be this obsessive kind of thing, and I do have an obsession with like the depth. But if it's not there, I'm like, real
right,
quick.
like super cold, right. I feel like you
Yeah.
should trust that. I don't think this is the best advice, but like I have Venus opposite. I'm obsessive too. I feel like if you're not obsessed, then is it really love? And yes, you're probably not supposed to, but I feel like we can kind of work with it. What would be seemingly toxic is actually just more of a love language at this point because you know how to balance it as well. And yeah, I love that you said the depth. That is like an ability you can manifest in the 11th house. You can literally join any social circle, or at this case, manifest it around you and add so much complexity and depth to this. Now, it squares your moon, and this is just going to put you in the face of so much drama because the sun like shines on you and you're so incredible. And people are like, why does she think she's better than the people? Like, what the heck, blah, blah, blah. And they just don't know that you're the greatest. You're the GOAT. Maybe you are better. And it's not like you're it's not like you're lording it over people's faces. I feel like with your Libra, you're if anything downplaying yourself as much as possible, only for people to still kind of like feel that way. But it's not you versus the world. I think that there's also people who love you obsessively and you bring so much wisdom to. Like this is the quality of your heart here that with the south node that's in your MC and you're going through this nodal return, It is establishing the success you've built over the past 10 years. And that's what brings us to this transit forecast. We know that
Okay.
the North Node, you're returning, right? We just finished Virgo season. So now I can see why you weren't sure if you wanted the solar return, which will be a great follow-up reading. But relative to the next 6 months, we're gonna go from your birthday Libra season to, of course, Aries season. This is beautiful. Nodal return. This is reestablishing your destiny mission, which, by the way, I have North Node in the 10th near my MC, and then you have North Node in the 4th. So the
Yeah.
opposite, right, dynamic of this is interesting. North Node in the 10th means you're destined for success, but it also means that you have to kind of like walk away from what your family wants to come into what you need to do, or to use resources from your family. I've always understood North Node in the 4th is opposite, where you came into this lifetime with success, and with the sun with success consciousness. And your challenge is to allocate that success in an original foundation and home, to where you're going to be the one who is destined to further your ancestry, your family line. You're unlocking your ancestry. It's like you're the one, especially with Aries. A classic example that I experienced when I was working with a Capricorn lady who was managing my practice, who used to work with Astrolata. She actually had, similar to you, she was an Aries rising with her South Node and the Sun in Capricorn, and then her North Node was in the 4th. So the way that played out for her was, she was a casting director for the movie X-Men Apocalypse. And when it came to like being out there and being busy and working, she was a professional at. But when it came to doing domestic chores and duties and being like a mother or stay at home, she was challenged at doing that, which was wild because, you see that, you would think, oh, she's the woman, she would have domestic, but no, like, obviously with the Capricorn, which is why I feel like this is important, because this challenges a lot of preconceived gender roles and notions that I think in your case with Libra and Aries is a lot less more about domestic duties, and like more so being the home mother, and more so about how you bridge your society and the work you're doing and you embody, and how you're coming into an original home foundation. A large element of your destiny is to really carve forth the authenticity that enables you to feel at home being yourself. And really, I see this as just taking the success you're going to achieve and putting on your family, creating this new ancestral line. North Node Aries as well could denote creating a new family line too, like having to kind of either divorce that your previous family, or out of another. Okay, thanks for letting me know that,
No,
because that's
you're right about this. I'm like moving to Colombia at the in November, like just with my kids, and probably just like a different life is happening for
nice.
sure. So,
Okay, that's
but that's
awesome.
a big part of my, yeah, it's like kind of Moana vibes.
All
Uh,
right, that's beautiful. And so we are officially coming into the 30th, kicking off the 6 month arc for you, because everyone's going through that 6 month arc. But since it's your nodal return, I like to see nodal returns as 20-year reestablishments of your mission. So it's like, 10 years ago, you completed your previous mission. Now you're coming back around to reinitiate a brand new mission coming into the next few months. I want to say, like, by the time we get to January. And this is just now you being in your new place and getting ready to start a whole new cycle, being in this new, resident place, getting your feet wet, warming in. So we could say the next 6 months is that process towards you really facilitating the move, getting settled in. But most importantly, also unlocking the success that you have put in for the past 10 years. And I'm so grateful that you confirmed that for me, because when that happened to me and the South Node was transiting my 10th house, it coincided with other solar return and progress chart cycles, to where I had never needed to work a part-time job again. It like broke me through in career. But the main lesson of that North Node fourth was the recent career success that year. I was able to move to Las Vegas and get my own place here. So a large part of that North Node in the fourth is consolidating the success that the past 10 years has really gained for you. And you're now moving to a new place to establish, of course, a new foundation, which I think is the most important part. Chiron here is going to now open up so much more vulnerability for you to break through, especially relative to you having it in Gemini. You have Uranus and Saturn and Juno, the queen goddess, in the 12th.
Yeah.
Juno is squaring her husband Jupiter in the third. So Jupiter in the third really represents this abundance of divine skills and abilities. It is this expansive element of reality warping through your imagination and being able to induce an intuitive sense of also understanding, but this is compounded because of the T square, where Uranus and Saturn squaring Jupiter create this very unconventional element of clairvoyance that may not make a lot of sense. And what I mean that may not make a lot of sense is your ability to see how things are going to happen with no details. Like there's no reason why you should have been able to see out of nothing what was going to happen, and it happened. Like for you to the 12th house quality is so unconventional that with Uranus, if you were to explain what you saw, it would not make sense. So for it to actually be true and happen is very wild. And Jupiter expands the ability for you to dive deep in your imagination, compounded by the depth of your Pluto Venus, to really flesh out the wisdom of what you're creating. Because now there's a manifestation element to this. Saturn, over the past 2 years, expanded the authority with Jupiter of how much more knowledge you can manifest and how much more money you can command. So now that it's going through your third house, this is developing more the awareness of how you spread your message, how you transcend a lot of, your mindset, and pretty much use your imagination to really be your canvas. And as it really opens up your 12th third house axis. And we're going to see this established throughout the next 6 months. Scorpio season, of course, is going to now take everything that Libra season is activating for you and now begin to transform where the right people in your life belong. Who belongs with this, next step of what you're manifesting, which as a Libra is also you manifesting the value of the pure friendships, but also putting you in a position to come into great support from people who have, had your back for the past decade too, in light of what it is you love to do. Because that is also now a huge breakthrough for you. Uranus and Jupiter in your fifth house in Taurus. And because it's opposite your Venus Pluto, it's bringing more to a grounded, natural quality, tangibility in what it is you love to do, what it is you're manifesting and creating, and your direct connection to who exactly to perform that to, who exactly to bring this value to. I think the depth of wisdom in Venus or in Scorpio is what coming into Scorpio season is going to complete that opposition of Jupiter. And Jupiter and Uranus in your fifth is this very creative innovation of the value you come into your creative
Hold on, you're
project.
breaking up.
Oh, you're straight.
Okay, I hear you now. I
Awesome.
lost you for like.
No worries. So basically, net Uranus and Jupiter in your fifth house in Taurus is the creative evolution and expansion of the transformation of the integration of your creativity. So this is putting you during this period an inspiration of new creative projects, things you love to do, things that are going to get you more independence based off of your own talents. It's a revivification of your talents in its most unconventional nature and clarity and quality. And because you have Uranus in Sagittarius with Saturn, this is also going to integrate how you're able to manifest a lifestyle and behavior that supports what it is you love to do. This is even more important because personally, now, once Scorpio opposes this Jupiter, it's going to conjunct your Venus at the middle of the sign. Once it starts to oppose all this fifth house energy, the seeds you sown, Jupiter in your fourth house in Aries, to which always facilitates a move. So Jupiter went through your fourth house. You said you're going to move, but did you move already?
I did. Well, I left and stayed in Colombia, like in South America, for 3 months, and then I came back. And it's funny, I moved into community with people who are like big on this, I don't know, stuff that used to be attached to an old self, and I kind of just blew up that whole community right now in a loving way. Everyone's grateful for it for some reason.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, and then so that's been like everything you said is like exactly on par. Just yeah. I just called out a lot of everyone's bullshit, and now this whole community is kind of falling apart and I'm leaving. That was
That is
kind
so awesome. Blew up the spot and now it's time to go. I love that.
kind
That is
of
so good.
it felt terrible, but like also net like I couldn't not do it, but it
Mhm.
was terrible. Anyway,
But
yeah,
very
but I moved.
necessary.
Yeah, it was
So
necessary.
I feel like that is Pluto that's close to your MC. It's like you transform the society you're around. Like you expose what's impure or pure about it. And Jupiter coming out the fourth is facilitating this move. So now that once we have the completion, because you have planted the seeds in April, you're going to now begin to harvest that November. And where's this harvest? Your hopes and wishes, rewards from career. Basically, all the actions you're taking now to activate this career success you're destined to move in, you're going to start to strengthen the wisdom of in November. That's going to facilitate the harvest of Jupiter. And you're going to see, I think this is going to really be good for finances and money. It's going to really transform a whole lot of any previous investment channels since May. You're returning on that investment based on
Mm,
what friends you can invest in, what friends are really bringing in their wisdom. This is going to transform a whole lot and prepare you for the next 6 months. That by May, where we have the conjunction with Jupiter in your fifth, which is eighth to your Libra, you're now returning even on more investments that you've made. So I think
bless
November,
you. Conjunction with Jupiter.
yeah, we're gonna have Uranus, Jupiter, Taurus, like the end of May, like middle of May of 2024.
Mm,
So I think November is going to be the start of serious financial allocation. That harvest is going to really be quite exceptional because you also have Venus and Pluto
no,
there.
you just
What was that? Oh, I froze again.
okay. That cut off for a second, and you said serious financial, and then it cut off, and
So
I was
serious
if it's a
financial
good thing.
acquisition of wealth. Yeah, I really feel like this is gonna. Oh,
Shit. Sorry to like it keeps cutting in and out. I'm trying to figure out. Let me just go off of Wi-Fi. Maybe that's the problem for me.
it could be because of I'm talking about the Scorpio.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, there we go. All right,
Yeah.
perfect. So basically, that November period is going to be the beginning of a 6 month cycle from November to May of 2024, where you are seriously acquiring a lot of wealth. Um, whether it's fully monetary at first until or by May, it could be just like your own product or wisdom, and then that turns into money. But really, it's money. It's a lot of value, even outside of just conventional money, maybe in the form of freedom and increased time and quality. But we basically want to see a large lump sum coming in from November, spanning all the way till May to really consolidate this next level. Even if it's not in the traditional form of money, this is going to open up so much unconventionality. I think Scorpio season is going to be very powerful for you. And of course, especially relative to now Pluto, that is in your first, it's awakening in its proximity to Mars a lot of your power. And now, by the time Pluto begins to go direct again and Saturn begins to go direct again, a lot of Saturn in your third house is crystallizing a lot of how you're changing what you're learning. Whenever I look at transits through the third house, it's like learning a new skill. So Jupiter went through your third house like 2022, and we can say that was when you like leveled up, let's say reading tarot. It's like you started to really approach reading tarot, which, third house mystical Pisces skill. Now Saturn is your mastery of this skill. This is where now you're coming into total mastery. It's crystallized, it's controlled. And that's the coolest thing about Saturn going through your third house. So Saturn going through your third house is taking your ability to warp reality with your imagination, and it's crystallizing it so that by the time Saturn is done, you can at will control every facet of what you imagine and how it not only creates your experience, but because it's sixth house to your Libra sun, this is also mastering your ability to create your dream life. So
Mm,
it's like, right. It's really awesome. Like this is what Saturn is going to really facilitate. You're coming into the attitude of what the life of your dreams looks like too, and how your behavior is shaped from the development of this. So Saturn going direct in November and Pluto going direct is going to move forward with this new version of yourself. You're awakening, increased power, wisdom. And that's where coming into Sagittarius season, this is going to quintessentially release your vision of yourself. It's going to make you aware of the ridiculous doubts and unconscious habits and beliefs that you have long since overcome post Saturn return, and is going to show you how in advance you're getting ready to completely change your entire life and lifestyle. Because that's another major lesson coming into next year. By the time we come into May and June of 2024, Jupiter's in your sixth house. And so you are ascending the philosophy of how to change your whole life. And you're literally evolving the quality of the routine, the thoughts that go into the routine you live, and it's just going to be moved so much more efficiently. So before then, Sagittarius is going to begin to show you elements of now the life you lived in the old place you're at and how it doesn't apply to this new place you're going to. It's going to inspire you with so many ideas, but relative to the 12th house nature of, that house, it's a great time to gain rest. Isolation might kind of creep in, and that's because it's preparing you for the first house chapter in Capricorn again. So
when that sorry, you said the
you're fine.
period.
The 12th house period,
Yeah.
December. It's going to be
Okay.
December, end of the year. A- And then coming into the beginning of next year, when we have the Sun conjunction with Pluto, that's going to be near the end of Capricorn. So Capricorn is going to be a huge checkpoint relative to the eclipse we have in your season. This is activating a whole lot of really the completion of last year, February, like January to February of 2023, actually, this year. So your birthday is bringing in the completion of all the work you've put in there. You're coming into the rewards and harvest, and that's the first part of from your birthday to the rest of the year. Then we're
Yeah.
going to kick off, and I'm glad that resonates. Then we're going to kick off the debut where January you are reawakening how to now activate this integration of your personality. What direction Sagittarius inspires you to move forward relative to the vision you see you believe yourself to be, and what direction and success and integrity you want to represent. And that's where with Pluto, that's going to go back into Aquarius, trine your Libra sun. It's going to, coming into February, extremely awaken the depth of knowledge to already create groundbreaking transformation in your finances and begin that process before it really comes back into play 2025. This is definitely going to impact your moon in Leo, and it's going to strengthen the confidence and quality of how you move forward with these reawakened powers. Because that's another thing to think. Pluto so close to Mars here is adding a supernaturally powerful element to how much more controlled and effective you take this assertive level of action. And Aquarius season is going to really now strengthen the direction you move in Capricorn, which will make you more comfortable post eclipse with a version of yourself you are so much more in integrity with establishing. But Aquarius season is what's going to really now emphasize more wealth accumulation. If Scorpio season began the process of really harvesting a lot of the wealth that this Jupiter opposition will facilitate, Aquarius season is going to complete that harvest. And where is that? Your second house of finances. So you're going to be very aware of the knowledge of how wealthy you are and how to begin to, over the rest of 2024, allocate this wealth. And boom, that brings us to Pisces. Pisces is now going to revisit Saturn direct, Neptune near the end of Pisces, your Jupiter here, and it's going to expand a lot, much more of how much more control you have over seeing elements of your dream life be made real, incorporating this attitude and these skills to really bring more of this in. This is going to really very powerfully adjust the perception that will lead into the eclipse in Aries to conclude the 6-month chapter of what direction you want to establish this new home and foundation in. So by February, the success you're gaining from your career now that you're breaking through, you will have allocated. It's going to prepare you for the eclipse in Aries, where now you're going to really be like, I'm settled into this new place. This is the direction I want to move forward with that. And now also as a Libra sun, the North Node is in your house of relationships. So this is preparing you to really connect with people you are destined to bring into your private world. And that's the challenge. Like, who do you trust enough to partner with to bring into certain things that you keep private in your home? Who are you bringing into your family fold? And also, who in your family might you be partnering with? This is also going to establish the success you help bring people in your private life because of the consciousness and the power you're really hooking people up with there too. And also how much more comfortable you are being authentic, challenging yourself to bring this with other people. And
Mhm.
that's going to, right, that's going to be the 6-month pipeline that's going to prepare you by April to move forward with relationships you're destined to move forward with. And yeah, that's the next 6 months in a nutshell.
Thank you. So
No.
simple. That sounds great. I'm
And,
like absorbing all of this. Okay. I don't think I
and
have too.
I was going to ask, yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And if anything comes up over the next 6 months, please feel free to email me and I can definitely answer any questions you have after this consultation too.
Yeah, I appreciate this very much. I'm like a huge astrology nerd and I use it for like a lot of my work with moms and their babies and
Mm.
don't really like spend enough time on myself, so it's good to hear
Okay.
this from someone else. Um no, all of this makes so much sense and I'll probably listen back to like Glee and other little things that
Or
I missed.
that's just,
Um huh?
I said, that's what's up. That's
Yeah.
really what's up.
No,
Mhm.
I appreciate it. It's been a time these past few months, not gonna lie. And I felt very far away from myself, like kind of like bored, like the aliveness. I left it back in like July or something, June maybe. So I'm like super ready to leave, and all of this sounds like very much on par. Cool.
Awesome. You know what else is cool? So today I had um 4 readings. Yeah, that's mind blowing. I am mind blown. Uh yeah, today I had 4 readings. I had 2 consultations and 2 reports, and every single one of y'all had a Capricorn rising.
Whoa, we just knew. We all convened
Yeah.
maybe astral planes.
I
Cool.
Stuff like that blows my mind every time, and I
Yeah.
think because I told you, like, I always make sure I tell the last person the synchronicity. I think that's kind of part of the 12th house Sagittarius. It's like in a nonlinear way, you got to find out about how all that was aligned. And you're part of it. You knew the book on today. So that's just really that's amazing. It's really amazing. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with the 12th house Sag is like there's something I need to go around to find the thing. Like I do it based on my intuition and later I'm like, that's the reason.
So it
That's just how it
confirms. I
yeah.
love that. And the challenge is to believe in that, even if it doesn't make sense. Like you'll always gain
Yeah,
reward. That's
I do.
awesome.
Crazy. Yeah. I
Sweet.
fully believe.
I love it.
All right, cool. All right, I may reach out for like a. I'm digging into my progress chart at the moment, so maybe that's
Yeah,
something I'll recording or something. I don't know.
absolutely. And I'm gonna attach a half off discount code for you.
Oh,
So yeah,
happy
you
birthday!
could you could use that whenever you want in future, and it'll be honored every time.
Thank you. And what was my? Oh yeah, you said something about an article, like
Yes.
some.
So when you get the recording to this, there will be links, and the link will be there to that article. It's an alien construct article, and I think you'll love
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm excited.
Happy birthday in
Thank you.
advance.
Thank
Awesome.
you very much.
I hope you enjoy it. And
Yeah,
all right, and you have a blessed week or weekend.
yeah. You too.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Peace.